All right, let's say that we have a two sample of means and we want to do a hypothesis test of the difference to see is there a significant difference between the two means. So our hypothesis test then might be set up that we say the differences, so if I subtracted, is less than or equal to 0. So in other words, equal to 0 says there's no difference. If they're greater than 0, then we're saying there's a difference. So what we want to do is find our test statistic, and then from that we can find a p-value to see if we compare with an alpha, and let's just say of 0.05 to see if we would reject or fail to reject this test. So you can see here is the formula to find the test statistic. Just be careful with parentheses. The top part says, subtract mean 1, the sample mean 1 minus sample mean 2. You don't necessarily have to put it, but I will just be complete, so I'm going to put more parentheses. The D0 is the null differences, and if there's no difference, that would be 0. All right, and then over the square root of our standard deviation squared divided by n. If you watched the video already on the confidence interval, this formula, this part should look familiar. And then the standard deviation of the second sample squared divided by the sample size of the second sample. And hopefully I have all my parentheses correct and I get my test statistic. So from here, what I want to do is I want to find my p-value. Okay, now as you can see, and you can kind of see in the formula over here, the population standard deviation is known, so we can use the norm.s.dist. And notice you click on your test statistic to find your p-value. True, I want to add up all this area, and I get this value. Now, the problem is if you look at the alternative tells you if it's a left tail, right tail, or a two-tail test. This is pointing to the right, stating that it's a right tail test. So you need to do 1 minus that value. So you get the area to the right of 2.18. And I get this for my p-value, and I can certainly see that the p-value is less than alpha. So I am going to reject the null and say that there is sufficient evidence to conclude that there is a difference, okay, that significantly there is a difference between mean 1 and mean 2.